Okay, in this chapter, this is a big chapter. We get to learn about the shooting and what happened. We learn about Fuchsia and her family. There's a connection there, and the struggles that she is going through in her family. We learn about the fact that all kids' lives are not equal. It's a good chapter. I hope you enjoy it.
Chapter 20. When I've finally gotten Bryce and Aurora into bed, but not yet to sleep, I hear Frank's gruff voice from the living room over the noise of the TV. "Someone's here for you." He never calls me by my name. I'm not actually sure that he knows my name. But who else could he be talking to? I poke my head out of the bedroom. "What's going on?" I hear Bryce call from bed. "You were gonna tell us a story," Aurora says. I don't see anyone at first, just Frank flopping back into his recliner with a grumble. And then, peeking around the corner with the washing machine, I see part of a face and a bit of pink hair. Fuchsia? "I'll tell you a story in just a bit," I call back over my shoulder. "I promise." I quickly close the door to the bedroom behind me, cross the main room, and come around the corner to the entranceway. "What are you doing here?" She shakes her head. She's wearing her jacket, which might be pink, but was clearly designed for winter in Florida, and she looks completely frozen. "Here." I grab my jacket from the pile of coats. "Put this on. Warm yourself up." She slides down until she's sitting on the floor with her back to the washing machine and my jacket over her like a blanket. Her teeth are chattering. I sit down across from her in the entryway, scooting Bryce's snow boots out of the way. Fuchsia takes her hands out of her pockets and reveals an inhaler clutched in her fist. She takes 2 shots of it and then leans back against the washing machine. "I just feel like I'm going to explode or something." "What? Because of the inhaler? Isn't it supposed to help?" "The doctor said I should use it whenever I feel my chest is tightening up. But that's like all the time right now. And the inhaler isn't making it go away." "You should go to the hospital then." I tug at her wrist. "Why are you here?" Fuchsia closes her eyes and bows her head. "Because nothing is going to get better unless I tell someone," she whispers. What is she talking about? "I couldn't tell you at school." Her voice is so quiet, I can barely hear her. "You never know when a teacher is going to overhear you, and I've learned my lesson about that." Why does she have to be so dramatic? I'm about to stand up and tell her that I'm done. That I'm done with her and all of her games. Just done. But then she starts talking. "I threatened Crystal that I would call DCF if she made me move in with Michael. And then, I guess, Crystal told Michael because the next day he showed up to pick me up from school instead of my mom. And as soon as I got into his car, he told me that if I ever pull something like that again, then I wouldn't live to..." Her voice cracks. "Oh my gosh!" My hand flies to my mouth. Was he the one in the parking lot who..." She squeezes her eyes shut. "I thought he was going to kill me. He was pointing the gun right at me before he shifted to the side and shot through the window of the car instead. That sound of glass shattering, I can hear it so perfectly. He fired twice more just for fun. And then, like nothing had happened, he drove us out of the parking lot. Like nothing had happened. It was the day after that, when Fuchsia kept going on and on about her asthma and about how she couldn't breathe. And I was getting annoyed with her. I'm so sorry. I reach out and awkwardly pull her into a hug. When Fuchsia pulls away, she shakes her head. Who does that? I mean, really. All I can see is Lenny, who grew up with Frank for a dad and just spent 4 years carrying around bags of smelly old people diapers for a living. Fuchsia doesn't wait for an answer, though. She produces a makeup mirror from her pocket and checks her eyeliner. Have you told the police anything? I ask. No, she says. What good would that do? Well, they can arrest him, can't they? Yeah, and then one of his buddies will post bail for him, and I'll be dead before the trial even starts. She snaps the makeup mirror shut. I feel better now that I told you, though. Thanks. She stands up. Where are you going? I ask. Back to the apartment. We've got one more day there, and then my mom's borrowing someone's truck so we can move our stuff to Michael's lovely place. Aren't you going to tell your mom? You can still call DCF. You do have a choice. She stares at the floor. I've learned my lesson about fighting back. Her teeth are still chattering from the cold. I look away and swallow the lump in my throat back down. Are you walking? I walked all the way here, didn't I? Yeah, well, I walked here from downtown earlier today. That doesn't mean I want to do it a second time. It's fine. I look out the window. The driveway is empty, which means Lenny and my mom drove rather than hitching a ride from someone else. Certain things are okay to spend gas on. Even if the car were there, what would I do? Convince Frank to get out of his recliner? Try to reach the pedals myself and get pulled over immediately? Are you sure? I say. Fuchsia sticks one hand in the pocket of her pink Florida jacket and grabs hold of the doorknob with the other. Time by myself will be good. She pauses and looks at me. I really feel better, though. Thanks. I pick my jacket up off the floor. At least put this on. Your jacket couldn't keep anyone warm. Then what are you going to wear? I'm not walking across town in the wind right now, so it doesn't matter. Fuchsia purses her lips, but then she takes my jacket. Thanks. I'll give it back to you tomorrow. I nod. I know. And then I watch her walk out into the darkness, all alone, with the wind blowing hard. One jacket isn't enough. When I go back into the bedroom, Bryce and Aurora are still awake. Time for our tourie! Aurora cries, flinging Petunia the sea turtle clear across the room. Make it about 2 kids having to stop an evil mastermind this time, Bryce says, climbing onto the bed. With lasers and car racing. I crawl into their bed. It isn't simple like that. One evil mastermind that you can stop to make everything okay. Instead, it's like a horrible disease that's found its way into every corner. One that's super contagious. Aurora gets nose to nose with me. Tartatouille! I close my eyes. I can't. And it should have sleds with blaster rockets and ants that have magical powers, Bryce says. Zoe, yells Aurora. You can't go to sleep. You promised a Tory. But I can't. If I open my eyes, I'll see Bryce and think of Lenny, and now flippin' Michael too. My friend came to me to tell me that someone shot at her, and all I could do was give her a jacket. This disease is everywhere, and it's like the only medical equipment I have to fight back with is a Q-tip. That's not fair, Bryce says. You promised us. You can't go to sleep. It's not fair. Nothing's fair. Getting shot at means you're too scared to tell the police. Getting bullied by your boyfriend means you slap your daughter when she tries to stand up for you. Come on! Bryce jostles me. It's good for them to learn now that nothing's fair. Well, they've already learned that plenty of other places, but I might as well show them that it's true everywhere. Aurora starts crying and flings herself on top of me. Wake up! Bryce is down at the foot of the bed, whacking at my ankles with his foam lightsaber. Not fair! Not fair! Not fair! But I keep my eyes closed. Eventually, they tire out and fall asleep. When they do, I slither out of their bed and head to the living room to watch Angry News Guys with Frank. Because what's the point? Octopuses have 3 hearts, and all of mine have broken.
Wow, what a chapter. We learn about who the shooter was. We learn about a concept of intimidation. Michael being the intimidator, and Fuchsia being intimidated, feeling as if there's nothing she can do. We learn about Zoe and how she feels powerless, and she keeps referring to an illness. And what is that illness? What is it connected to? How does it relate to the men in this book, or many of the men in this book? It's a good chapter. Okay, time to do questions.